following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Main Street Media proudly welcomes you live to Chattanooga, site of the 2021 Blue Cross Bowl. This is TriStar Friday Night Live, presented by the U.S. Army and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. And welcome back into Chattanooga and the Blue Cross Bowl. The 6A game is in the books, and maybe not exactly what we were looking for, but fantastic performance nonetheless as Oakland wins its second straight Blue Cross Bowl championship tonight by a final score of 43-26. So Oakland gets the win tonight in an impressive performance. Welcome in TriStar Friday Night Live, presented by the U.S. Army and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. JP Plant alongside Russell Venozzi, who is kind enough to join us here this evening. Russell, we thought that there might be a chance Summit coming in with like a 25-game win streak. Oakland like a 29-game win streak. Something obviously was going to have to give, but Oakland really flexed its muscles and showed that they're still the best team in the state.
Yeah, I've said it better myself.
Quite frankly.
Yeah, that's 15-0 for the second season in a row, back-to-back state titles, 3 out of the last 4 now for them. It's just been an impressive run for Kevin Creasy and the Patriots, and nobody really touched them all year outside of CPA. That was a 3-point game. Lipscomb Academy was 8 points, and Maryville was 10. So, I mean, there's no shame in playing those teams close, and everybody else they pretty much ran through, including tonight, which, like you said, we were hoping maybe for a little more of a competitive game, and it was for a while, but clearly Oakland was the better team tonight.
Yeah, no question about it. And let's get right to our game recap, brought to you by Dairy Berries Heat and Air. For over 35 years, Dairy Berries Heat and Air has provided unparalleled service to the residents of Sumner County. Trust Dairy Berries for all of your heating and air needs. Just give them a call today, 615-452-8121, or you can visit them online at dairyberryac.com. All right, looking at the scoring for this game tonight, Summit actually got on the board first. Russell with Keaton Wade's 17-yard touchdown run, missed the extra point, and they ended up chasing that basically all night long. But it looked like Summit was the bigger aggressor, at least on that first drive. They won the coin flip, took the football, went down and scored.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better start for Summit, and so they did their part there. But then, Oakland answers back really quickly with a nice run by Jordan James.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just a harbinger of things to come for Jordan James. 29-yard touchdown run to cap off a 6-play, 62-yard drive. Extra point was good, and it was 7-6 Oakland. The Patriots got back in the action with 59 seconds to go in the opening quarter. A 71-yard pass from Hewitt to Patterson, and the extra point was good. That was a one-play drive, and I believe that was right after a fourth down that the Summit did not connect on. One play later, I think after the turnover, they were able to get that. So Oakland leads after one quarter, 14-6, I should say. Summit, though, did answer. They got the ball back, a 14-play, 80-yard drive, over 6 minutes off the clock, and it was Destin Wade with a 2-yard run to get into the end zone. Went for 2 as they were chasing all night, did not get it, so it's 14-12 now at 6:46 to go in the second. Oakland answered some 3 minutes later. Jordan James with a 5-yard touchdown run, capping off an 8-play, 53-yard drive, and it's 21-12 Patriots with about 3 minutes to go in the second. Right before half, Oakland was able to punch it in once again, as it was Khalil James and a 14-yard pass from Hewitt, and the extra point was good. And Oakland, Russell, with a ton of momentum going into the locker room, led 28-12, and it looked like they may blow this one open.
Yeah, that was the turning point for me, JP. Those last 2 touchdowns they got over the final 3:24 were huge.
Yeah.
To take that multi-score lead into halftime, and Summit I think got back within 8 points at some point during the second half, but there was no way they could overcome those 2 quick scores there at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, it was tough. Oftentimes that 8-minute window, the 4 minutes before half, 4 minutes after half, and Oakland did receive the second half kickoff, but Summit actually held Oakland scoreless there in that third quarter. So the defense kind of held their end. Summit was able to get a little momentum. They scored with 3:58 to go in the third. Another long drive, 11 plays, 55 yards, 5.5 minutes off the clock, and Destin Way with a 2-yard run. And the 2-point conversion failed once again. So it's 28-18. So a 10-point deficit for Summit heading into the fourth quarter. Oakland answers right back some 4 minutes later or so at 11:13 to go in the fourth. It was Patterson with an 8-yard run, capping off a 6-play, 82-yard drive, 35-18. And we saw that a couple of times. Patterson kind of in the Wildcat formation, a couple of times on purpose. There was one time where Hewitt's helmet came off on a 4th down play down by the goal line. He came in and actually scored, but that play seemed to work. When you've got weapons like that, Russell, it's tough to really do anything.
Yeah, it's so easy to forget about Antonio Patterson.
Right.
I mean, we're going to talk about Jordan James here, the MVP, with 27 carries for 234 yards. But then you've got Patterson with 14 carries for 107, 7.6 average, and 2 scores. I mean, he's just been that secondary sidekick to Jordan James his whole career. And on any other team, he'd be the star without a doubt.
Yeah,
but
no question.
Having both of those guys in the same backfield has just been a nightmare for defenses.
Yeah, it was incredible. So the score there, 35-18, 11 minutes to go in the fourth. Summit would answer in just over a minute, just a 3-play, 80-yard drive, highlighted by a 69-yard beautiful pass from Destin Wade to Brady Pierce. And the 2-point conversion was good this time. So it's within 9 points, 35-26. I think Summit had a defensive stand, a couple of penalties on Oakland, but later on, Oakland was able to wear him down, get the ball back, stop Summit. Oakland with 4:03 to go. Patterson, once again, a 5-yard run from the Wildcat formation. And I believe they went for 2 at that point, and it was good. 43-26, your final score tonight as Oakland defeats Summit 43-26. So, dominant. I don't know, dominant. I mean, it was a very impressive performance. I think Oakland clearly was the better team tonight. There were a couple of mistakes by Summit. Nothing that was too big, but they didn't seem quite as sharp as we were accustomed to them. I think Oakland had a lot to do with it, though.
I think so, yeah. We don't talk about the Oakland defense enough. I think they get overshadowed by the big names on offense, Patterson, Jordan James, Isaiah Horton, all those guys get a lot of the headlines, but the defense has a whole slew of guys that are, every game somebody's stepping up and making a play. I remember in that Lipscomb game, it was Eric Taylor that got in the backfield and tackled out Alex Broom at the goal line to end that game. Then against CPA, it was Corey Smith that came off the bench. He's a sophomore, and he sacked Cade Law right there at the goal line to win that game. And, they just have tons of depth there on the defense, and that you really saw that in the results tonight.
Yeah, looking at some other stats, as we mentioned, the MVP was Jordan James. Big shocker there, 27 carries, 234 yards, a couple of touchdowns, averaged 8.6 yards per carry, just an impressive performance. And you mentioned earlier Patterson as well, 14 carries for 110 yards. Meanwhile, Destin Wade had 27 carries, 168 yards. Keaton Wade, 9 carries for 72 yards. So, they got some yards, but every yard seemed like it was they had to fight tooth and nail just to get every inch against Oakland's defense tonight.
Yeah, Tyler Palmentier, our Main Street Preps reporter, was our all-star reporter, I should say, was saying that Destin Wade's going to need some Advil tonight because he
Yes.
kind of put the team on his back. I mean, the 27 carries there, that is to take 27, potentially 27 hits from the Oakland defense could not have been fun. And then, of course, he passed the ball 19 times as well. So many plays, the ball was in his hand, and he was the one getting tackled. So he's definitely gonna have some bumps and bruises from this one.
Yeah, no question about it. Other interesting stats tonight, passing the football. Kate Hewitt, not a whole lot of passes, only 9 attempts, accurate 6 times, but they really pick their spots and win a couple of long balls tonight. And he spreads it around. 4 receivers of those 6 completions, 2 to Jordan James, 2 to Isaiah Horton, 1 to Patterson, but it was for 71 yards and the score. And then Khalil James with a catch as well and a score. So their offense is so balanced and a lot of running, and rightfully so. But Hewitt's able to pick the spots with Creasy as well, calling the plays and just go up top. Very accurate, and when you can balance the running game with timely passing, it's hard to stop.
Oakland can win a lot of its games with 50 yards passing. So now that, down this stretch run of the season, as Kate Hewitt has really settled into that role as a starting quarterback, he came over from Riverdale in the offseason as a transfer. And I think kind of early in the season, he was still getting chemistry with the receivers. They were being pretty conservative with the play calling. But when they're able to take shots with him and he's able to hit those to Horton or James or Patterson, whoever, that adds a whole nother dimension to that variation of the wing tee that they run. It's just so difficult to stop. And
we got
hopefully somebody's all right over there.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Somebody was joking in here, but if you can talk, then you're all right.
There you go. All right. So
all right, let's keep it rolling.
There we go. This is live, of course. And so as you're saying, Oakland wins a lot of games with not a whole lot of passing. They don't need a whole lot of passing, but they can pick their points.
Yeah, I got a little interrupted there, but Cade Hewitt, he's really was really in the flow of the game tonight. I mean, 6 of 9 passing, very efficient 6 completed passes. He threw for 160 yards.
I mean, that's amazing.
You can't ask for a whole lot better than that. And you're right. I don't want to label him as like a game manager because I know there's like negative connotations with that, but that's really what he is, and that's really what all this Oakland offense needs to run with all those weapons they have. They just needed somebody to step in and kind of distribute the ball to all those guys. And Cade Hewitt did an excellent job of that all year. I actually wrote a story on him, I believe, the first week of the season. Got to know him a little bit that way, and that's basically what he said he was trying to do. He knew what his role was, and he knows that he's got all this talent, this Division I talent around him, and he was put in that starting quarterback job to make sure they get the ball, and it worked out all season. Here they are, 15-0 with a state championship to show for it.
Yeah, there you go. So Oakland winning their second straight championship. I guess that streak now up to 30 games in a row, back-to-back seasons. Summit streak comes to an end at 25 as they fall tonight to Oakland 43-26, your final. We're going to keep it right here and continue on as we get to our Wilson Bank and Trust scoreboard. And now, Russell, we have a full scoreboard.
Yes, we do.
We have a full scoreboard. So as this pops up, we will kind of go back and look at some of these games. Touching, we'll start with today's games earlier. Westview 55-14 over Hampton and Ty Simpson, right? Fantastic. I tell you, being able to watch him up close and on the field, what a phenomenal athlete and a great leader of that football team. I know you covered this game, I believe.
I did, yes.
What did you see with what Ty Simpson did today for Westview?
Well, he did throw a couple of interceptions. One was at the end of the half. It's kind of just almost a punt, Hail Mary type of deal. But he hit those really what changed the game for them early in the first quarter. Hampton had just had like an 8-minute drive and scored a touchdown, and that was their game plan, was churn the clock, run the ball, keep it away from that Westview offense. But then in the last 2 minutes of the first quarter, Simpson threw a 45-yard pass to Quincy Hamilton, and then they got the ball back, and he immediately threw another one within 22 seconds. They got the onside kick is what it was. threw another 35-yard pass to Gardner Anderson, and from there on, it was all Westview.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with Simpson overall too. And I think what surprised me a little bit is just how much he's able to run the ball too. And he had 180 rushing yards, and it almost reminded me a little bit of like Jake McNamara 2.0, where he's not necessarily a dual threat quarterback, but because he's mobile, he's able to evade pressure and kind of just take what the defense gives him, and that turned into 180 yards and a couple touchdown runs today.
Yeah, very impressive performance. Ty Simpson and Westview 55-14 winners today. And then probably the game of the week, a double overtime game. It was Tullahoma 21-14 over Elizabethton. It was 7-7 heading into overtime. They both scored, obviously, in the first overtime. Tullahoma had it first in the second, was able to score, and then got an interception in the corner of the end zone. And just what a fantastic game. A lot of drama and very physical, too. But Tullahoma and John Olive gets their first gold ball with the state championship today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm racking my brain. I believe that was the best game of the weekend. There was also South Pittsburgh, McKenzie was
pretty
close,
good, too.
Course, Page, Powell was great last night. But when you got a double overtime game ending on an interception there in the corner of the end zone, I mean, it's hard to beat that, especially because that environment was also the best that we had all weekend.
Biggest crowd of any game. Tullahoma brought a ton of people, as did Elizabethton. And they had a ton of people as well. And this was the 11 a.m. Eastern game. It was the first game of the day.
It was amazing. And, Tullahoma fans could drive about an hour, but Elizabethton, that's at least 2 or 3 from here, I believe.
Yeah, maybe more. 4 hours, I think.
Yeah, because they're right by Hampton, and Hampton's about 4. So that was impressive. And I thought maybe there was a chance that this crowd tonight at Oakland Summit would surpass that or equal that. And I didn't think it came close. That first game was as filled as we saw all weekend.
It was incredible. The scores from yesterday, it was Alcoa 45-14 over East Nashville. South Pitt, as Russell mentioned, 24-21 over McKenzie. And then Powell, Downs Page, 42-34. Page had a chance there at the end. McNamara, as the Patriots got an onside kick, had a couple chances in the end zone at the end, but just couldn't make it happen. Played a heck of a game. But what stood out on day 2 yesterday in those 3 games?
Yeah, day 2. They're all kind of running together, JP. But the way that Jake McNamara played in his final high school game, I mean, that was nothing to hang his head about there. He did everything he could to help his team win a state championship, and my hat's off to him for that. And the South Pittsburgh, what a great story that was too. Kind of a nearby team winning. I think Chattanooga really embraced them. There's a ton of fans here, and then you guys talked about it last night about how they took a detour through Jasper to kind of showboat a little bit. And that's just one of those programs that has so much history and maybe has fallen on harder times recently. They were in the state championship game last year, but then to have your coach leave for the CFL after week 1, I mean, I don't know how anybody can come back from that.
Co-head coaches all season long.
Co-head coaches.
When
I was talking to their players after the game, they all came together, they bought in, and those coaches did a heck of a job to have South Pittsburgh basically win its last 10 games. And win its 6th title in program history. I mean, that was probably that, and Tullahoma. If I'm thinking off the top of my head, DCA as well. Those are some of the teams that really stood out as like the best stories of the weekend. But there was a number of greats. I mean, it was just overall a really entertaining weekend of football here in Chattanooga.
Yeah, and of course we can't forget Alcoa's 7th straight.
Right.
7th straight, tying a record that they set.
That's dynasty right there.
I mean, unbelievable. East Nashville put up a fight early, but Alcoa just too much there. And then on Thursday, the D2 was front and center. Lipscomb Academy 27-0 over CPA. DCA 31-7, as you mentioned, over Nashville Christian. And McCallie, another great crowd, great atmosphere in that primetime game on Thursday night, defeated NBA 28-7.
Yeah, that was a really fun day, especially just being a Nashville reporter. So many teams that I'd covered and seen all year. Aside from Lipscomb getting its first title since 2007, its first title under Dilfer, that was pretty neat to see. But the way that DCA handled Nashville Christian 31-7, I don't think anybody saw that scoreline coming. And the way they did it too, I mean, they've just got so many weapons. Even though they've only got 35 players on their roster, they probably got at least 15 really good players.
Yeah.
And that was enough in single A to have a state championship team. So, congrats to the Wildcats. It was a banner year for them and Coach Paul Wade.
All right. So 9 games, 3 days. It's all in the books. And if you missed any of it, well, you got you covered. MainStreetPreps.com is the place to go. Coverage of all 9 games, Russell. It's been quite a fun challenge and feat this week to be a part of all the way across.
Yeah, I don't think we're too much worse for the wear. I guess
No.
I'll see when I get home and sleep until I don't know lunchtime tomorrow.
Yep.
But no, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun all season. I mean, with the new additions that we had with Maurice and Chris and Donovan and JP producing our shows. I mean, we really took things to the next level with football coverage this year, and I hope it only goes up from here.
Absolutely. Well, that's the only way to go. We're going to continue, and it's been a lot of fun, and we appreciate everybody tuning in this year. Especially thanks to our sponsors all season long, U.S. Army and Tennessee Highway Safety Office, our scoreboards, Wilson Bank and Trust, and our newest partner here at the Blue Cross Bowl with our game recaps, Dairy Berries, Heat and Air. We appreciate them as well. It certainly has been a lot of fun. Russell, you got any final thoughts to cap the football season for Main Street Preps?
Yeah, I think it's just nice to have some closure on the season. I mean, I've been doing football stories since June, covering it, camps and practices and all that. And it's been, like we said, a banner year for Middle Tennessee with how many teams got here. So it was a great ending this weekend, but it's definitely nice to be able to close the book on something and get a little part of your life back. But at the same time, you're definitely going to miss just all the fun and just all the action that there was to keep up with this year.
Well, it was a great way to cap the season. Just from my personal perspective, I think, Chattanooga has been a good host. I think the atmosphere at the stadium has been great, the surrounding area. I think it's a good fit, and we'll be back next year, of course. And then we'll see what they do beyond that. They're trying to pair it with the classification changes. They don't want to go too much beyond that. So, but overall, it's been a great weekend. Again, go to MainStreetPreps.com for complete coverage, and I do mean complete coverage of all
Very
9.
complete. Yep.
Blue Cross Bowl championships. All right. Thanks to George Plaster all season long, along with the Guru Murphy Fair, the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao, Tyler Palmatier, Russell Benozzi, Main Street Preps. I'm JP Plant saying one last time, good night from Chattanooga. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see a little cameo by the Hall of Famer. He could do that. We appreciate all of those who supported us, U.S. Army, Tennessee Highway Safety Office, Wilson Bank and Trust, Dairy Berries Heat and Air, and also to our man in charge, Dave Gould, for allowing us to do this, really.
Yeah, thanks,
Getting
Dave.
us in charge, Chris Kulik and others who helped make this happen. We appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in. Basketball is here, so the beat goes on.
Yes, let's talk about basketball another day.
Another day. Hey, thanks for tuning in all weekend long here live from Chattanooga, TriStar Friday Night Live.
TriStar Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by the U.S. Army. In the boots of a U.S. Army soldier, you'll move forward in your career and make a real difference in the world. Find the right fit with more than 150 occupational specialties. Learn more at usarmy.com. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, reminding you booze it and lose it. The bad decision to drive drunk will land you in jail. And by Wilson Bank and Trust. Visit wilsonbankandtrust.com for more details. Wilson Bank and Trust, proud supporter of high school sports.